Welcome. My name is Marvin Wiley Jr., joined with Linda Waring, and today we're going to be covering the topic of the Basecamp manager duties. And we're going to walk through this tutorial here. And it looks like Monica Schultz is Vice President Education of her club. She is working with her Chief Ambassador and Pathways Guide to launch Pathways. And for most clubs, the Vice President of Education will also be the Basecamp manager. Many of the responsibilities that are a part of being a Basecamp manager are part of the current responsibilities for VPEs. There are also tools to be made or to make the job of the VPE and other club leadership easier, such as verifying project completion, approve speeches outside the club, verify level completion, track member progress, communicate with other Basecamp managers as far as who's going to be approving the request, and then awarding badges. And Linda, do you want to take off or take on this next section?
A great benefit to Pathways is that it provides a wide array of learning to meet the ever-changing needs of Toastmasters members. This variety of tasks and projects can present a challenge for Basecamp managers in that they will not necessarily be familiar with the material each member of their club is working to accomplish. To make this manageable for Basecamp managers, Basecamp includes a description of each path and every project. The evaluation resources include a description of the purpose of each project and a full list of competencies the member worked towards. Each of these resources is searchable so the Basecamp managers can learn about each member and what they're working on should they choose to do so. And we'll put the searching and browsing tutorial on so you can learn more about how to find information about projects and locate resources on Basecamp.
You can search and browse in Basecamp to access project descriptions, speech evaluation forms, tutorials, and other resources. To search, type a keyword in the search box and press Enter. It's best to use a single keyword. Your search results will appear on this screen. Select your desired result. Please note that many resources are available in multiple languages. Be sure you are selecting your desired language. The Details screen will open. Select the Launch button to open the document or resource. To browse in Basecamp, select Tutorials and Resources on the navigation bar. On the Tutorials and Resources page, select a subject under the Subject heading. Then select your preferred language, if applicable. The materials will appear in alphabetical order. Navigate to your desired item and select it. Select the Launch button. The item will open. Proceed to view, save, or print the resource as necessary.
For level completions, when a member of Monica's club completes a level, it is her responsibility as Basecamp manager to verify the completion. Recognition is also part of the Basecamp manager's responsibilities. In Monica's club, she prints certificates at the end of each level and presents them in front of the club. Your club may do this as well. As Basecamp manager, you can print certificates. We can look at a quick video on how to submit those certificates here, starting with responding to the level completion request.
Review a level completion request. Select the Pending Request style from the home page. On this page, you can view all pending approval requests from your club members. To review the member's transcript, select the member's name on the left. To approve the request, select the green check mark on the right. If you find a problem with the request, select the red X to deny it. Enter your name and comments for the member on the next page. Select the Submit button.
And now printing certificates on Basecamp.
To print a certificate for a member who completed a level in Basecamp, begin by searching for the member in the search box. Select the appropriate member name when it appears. Select the Transcript tab in the member's profile. On the Education Transcript, select the Open Curriculum button next to the path. In this example, the member has completed the first 2 levels in his online path. To print the level completion certificate, select the View Details button to the right of the completed level. Next, select the View Training Details button for Level 2 completion, Motivational Strategies. On this page, select the burgundy Print Certificate text near the center of the page.
And now, printing these certificates using printed material on the printed paths.
At the completion of each level, you can print certificates for members who are completing their paths with printed materials. Begin by searching for the member in the search box. Select the appropriate member name when it appears. Select the Transcript tab in the member's profile. On the Education Transcript, select the Open Curriculum button next to the path. In this example, the member is on the Presentation Mastery Print path. You can see that this member has completed the first level in the path. To print the Level 1 completion certificate, select the View Details button to the right of Level 1. Next to Level 1 completion, Presentation Mastery, select the View Checklist button. Select the Attachments tab in the Overview section. Select the burgundy Presentation Mastery Level 1 certificate text, and the certificate will download to your computer. Proceed to open the certificate. Enter the member name, date, and print or save the certificate as needed.
Now, Linda, do you want to move on to projects outside of your club?
Yes. Monica's club has several members who present as a regular part of their volunteer and career activities. There are times when a project in Pathways fits perfectly with one of these presentations outside the club. Members are welcome to complete many projects outside the club as long as it is approved by their Vice President Education. Basecamp makes the process of requesting and approving projects outside the club quick and easy. And we're going to have 3 tutorials to learn about approving member projects outside your club, starting with completing a speech outside your club.
After you complete a speech outside your club, return to your education transcript to submit your external training completion for approval. Depending on your anticipated completion date, the button next to the external training item will read, Withdraw, or Mark Complete. You may choose to edit the external training item to include supporting materials, such as video or audio of the speech, a PDF of the event flyer, or a photo of the event. Select the arrow adjacent to the button and select View Training Details. Select the burgundy Edit External Training text and upload any supporting materials. If the completion date has not arrived yet, update it to today's date. When you are finished, select the Submit button. Return to your education transcript and select the Mark Complete button next to the external training item. The status will change to Pending Completion Approval. Your Vice President Education will receive a notification that you have submitted a request. Once your completion has been approved, the external training item will be moved from the active page of your transcript to the completed page. View it by selecting the active drop-down menu and selecting Completed. The external training item can now be viewed by selecting the View Training Details button. Any comments by your VPE can be viewed in the Approval History section on the Training Details page. You may want to move the original request to your archived transcript by selecting the burgundy Move to Archived Transcript text.
Now, responding to initial external training requests,
On the home page, select the Pending Requests tile. On this page, you can view the external training request. Note the icon under the training heading indicates that this is an external training request. Under Type, it says Initial. That means this is the first step in the external training process, and the member needs approval to complete the assignment. Select the folder next to the member's name to view details about the request. In the Training Details section, review the details of the external training request. Note the project title. At this point, you will want to review the project requirements and compare it to the proposed external training request. To do so, select Tutorials and Resources on the navigation bar. On the Tutorials and Resources page, select Project Descriptions under the Subject heading. Then select your preferred language. The projects will appear in alphabetical order. Navigate to the correct project and select it. Select the Launch button. The project description will open in PDF form. Proceed to review, save, or print the description as necessary. Once you have reviewed the project description, select Home on the navigation bar. Then select the Pending Requests tile. At this point, you can approve or deny the external training request. To approve the request, select the green check mark. To deny the request, select the red X. Enter your name and comments for the member. Then select the Submit button.
Moving on to responding to external training completion requests.
Once a member has completed an external training assignment, they will submit a request for approval of completion. Select the Pending Requests tile on the home page. Note that under Type, it now reads Completion. Select the folder next to the member's name to view details about the request. In the Training Details page, review the request and decide if it met the assignment requirements. Select the Back button at the bottom to return to the Pending Requests page. At this point, you can approve or deny the completion request. To approve, select the green check mark. To deny, select the red X. Enter your name and comments for the member, and select the Submit button.
Moving on to the path completion in printed materials. Monica's club has a few members who prefer to use printed materials. Printed materials are bound and shipped by world headquarters. All projects on Basecamp can be printed, but these members prefer to have printed materials shipped to them. Members using printed materials still appear on Basecamp, and Basecamp managers need to keep their information updated, just as they do for members who are working on Basecamp to complete their learning. They will also need to use Club Central in order to order for these members when they are ready for the next level of printed materials. We can look at the videos on validating projects and level completions when members are using the printed paths.
Members working on a print path validate each project as it is completed. When all projects in the level are complete, validate the level. Begin by searching for the member by typing their name in the search box. Select the appropriate member. Select the Transcript tab in the member's Basecamp profile. On the Education Transcript, select the Open Curriculum button next to the path. In this example, the member has completed the icebreaker in Level 1, and you need to validate the completion. Select the View Details button to the right of Level 1. Now you are viewing the projects in Level 1. Select the View Checklist button next to the icebreaker. The checklist will open. Check the box under the Completion heading. Select the Save button on the left to save it as complete. The page will reload and show the project as completed. Once all the required projects are validated, you will be able to validate the Level 1 completion Presentation Mastery Checklist. For level completion validation, select the checkbox under the Level 1 completion heading on this page. Then select the Save button on the left.
And now how to print these certificates for members using the printed paths.
At the completion of each level, you can print certificates for members who are completing their paths with printed materials. Begin by searching for the member in the search box. Select the appropriate member name when it appears. Select the Transcript tab in the member's profile. On the Education Transcript, select the Open Curriculum button next to the path. In this example, the member is on the Presentation Mastery Print path. You can see that this member has completed the first level in the path. To print the Level 1 completion certificate, select the View Details button to the right of Level 1. Next to Level 1 completion, Presentation Mastery, select the View Checklist button. Select the Attachments tab in the Overview section. Select the burgundy Presentation Mastery Level 1 certificate text, and the certificate will download to your computer. Proceed to open the certificate. Enter the member name, date, and print or save the certificate as needed.
Perfect. Now tracking progress. And this part is going to answer some of the questions as far as how to identify what member is in which path. It'll indicate this. And Linda, do you want to lead us in this section of tracking progress?
Yeah, one of the greatest assets of Basecamp for club leadership and Basecamp managers in particular is the ability to easily track member progress. Monica is able to run reports that show her how club members are progressing on their path, what paths they're working on, and whether they are using printed materials or working on Basecamp. And here are some tutorials. We'll start with recently selected path dashboard.
Use the Recently Selected Paths dashboard to review the paths members of your club have registered for in the last month. Begin by selecting the Member Progress tile from the Basecamp Manager homepage. Select the For Recently Selected Paths tab. To ensure you have the most up-to-date information, refresh all graphs. To refresh all graphs, select the Options drop-down menu and then select Refresh. This graph shows that 4 members have registered for motivational strategies, 2 have registered for team collaboration, and the remaining 3 paths have had 1 member register in each. Select View Details to see which members have recently begun each path. The names of the members who have registered for each path are visible at the bottom of the screen. This information is especially useful for connecting new members or members starting a new path with other members working in the same path.
And now the individual progress dashboard.
Use the Individual Progress dashboard to review each individual member's progress through their path by level. Begin by selecting the Member Progress tile from the Basecamp Manager homepage. Select the One Individual Progress tab. To ensure you have the most up-to-date information, refresh all graphs. To refresh all graphs, select the Options drop-down menu and then select Refresh. To confirm the refresh is complete, check the last refreshed date and time. Each graph on the page shows individual member progress by path. There are 5 graphs, 1 for each level. In this example, there are members working in projects in levels 1, 2, and 3. The bar indicates the number of members in each path. In level 1, there is 1 member in motivational strategies, 1 member in strategic relationships print, and 2 members in team collaboration. Select View Details to see which members are progressing through the level. Under the Transcript Status heading, you will see Registered when a member has added the path to their transcript. You will see in progress when a member has launched projects in the path. You will only see registered in level 1. You can also see the percentage of the path a member has completed under the Curriculum Completion Percentage heading. This information is especially helpful when you are determining which education goals your members are working to achieve.
And now we look at the video on the Path Progress dashboard.
Use the Path Progress dashboard to review the paths that have been selected, are in progress, or have been completed by members in your club. This information will help you support members connect with others who have completed work on their selected paths. Begin by selecting the Member Progress tile from the Basecamp Manager homepage. Select the To Path Progress tab. To ensure you have the most up-to-date information, refresh all graphs. To refresh all graphs, select the Options drop-down menu and then select Refresh. To confirm the refresh is complete, check the last refreshed date and time. The first graph shows an overview of the number of members in each status of each path. The legend indicates the color of the bar for registered, in progress, and completed. The other 3 graphs on this page highlight one of the statuses from the overview. The second graph shows the number of members who have registered for a particular path but have not yet begun working on the projects. This graph is especially useful for identifying which members to encourage and to schedule for their icebreaker. To view the member names, hover over the graph. A down arrow will appear in the upper right corner of the graph. Select it and then select View Details. The third graph shows the number of members in progress in each path. This graph helps you align members with similar goals. To view the member names, hover over the graph. A down arrow will appear in the upper right corner of the graph. Select it and then select View Details. The fourth graph shows the number of members who have completed a path. This graph is great for highlighting major accomplishments of members in the club. To view the member names, hover over the graph. A down arrow will appear in the upper right corner of the graph. Select it and then select View Details.
Now we can look at the External Training dashboard.
Use the External Training dashboard to review members completing an assignment outside your club. Begin by selecting the Member Progress tile from the Basecamp Manager homepage. Select the 5 External Training tab. To ensure you have the most up-to-date information, refresh the graph. To refresh the graph, select the Options drop-down menu and then select Refresh. To confirm the refresh is complete, check the last refreshed date and time. In this example, 1 member has submitted the initial request to complete an assignment outside the club and is awaiting approval. 3 members are registered, which means they have had their request approved but have not yet completed their assignments. 1 member has completed their assignment and is awaiting approval for credit. Select View Details to see member names. The Details page shows the names of members represented on the graph. Under Training Title, the brief description of each member's assignment is visible.
And lastly here, we can look at the Path Types dashboard.
Use the Path Type dashboard to review the number of members completing paths on Basecamp versus in printed materials. Begin by selecting the Member Progress tile from the Basecamp Manager homepage. Select the 3 Path Type tab. To ensure you have the most up-to-date information, refresh all graphs. To refresh all graphs, select the Options drop-down menu and then select Refresh. To confirm the refresh is complete, check the last refreshed date and time. In this example, 7 members are completing their paths on Basecamp, and 2 members are completing their paths in printed materials. Select View Details to see which members are completing their paths on Basecamp or in printed materials. Under the Path Delivery Method heading, you can see which members are completing their path in printed materials. This information is especially useful for identifying members who will require a different type of support. For more information, view the Members in Printed Materials tutorial.
Perfect, and that concludes that. And you can see how you can view if a member is in printed materials throughout that last section of looking at the path types dashboard. You can also view it when you pull up the member's transcript. Once you pull up the transcript, if they're in print, it'll have some parentheses. It'll say print right next to the path name will be on it. So that'll be another way that you can view that. And if you wanted to get an idea of what projects the member is working on, as far as the project descriptions, one good resource is to go to the District 4 website. I'm going to go here right now. And the link should be in your email. And on this site, what you'll find is District 4 took all of the paths and they integrated all the project descriptions within all of the projects. So all you have to do is just click on the path and then go to the level, and then you'll be able to search through and find the project description that you're looking for. And that's one good resource to see what they're looking to accomplish with their project if you're not doing the same path. You can also go on your home page, and then go to tutorials and resources, and you'll find the project descriptions will be found right here as well. And you can of course sort by English, and you'll be able to find all these descriptions here as well. And for today, we covered all of the Basecamp Manager duties and what you would look to do as a Basecamp Manager. And really, the most common thing that you'll be doing is just simply approving the level completion request. That will be the number one thing that you'll do as a Basecamp Manager. And there'll be a checklist that you can follow as a Basecamp Manager. And that checklist should also be in your email. The checklist looks exactly like this here, and it essentially just goes over everything that you will see in the Basecamp tutorial. It'll be here, except it's in print. And this is a good resource to go back on. That way you wouldn't have to go through the tutorial each time. You can just use this as a quick reference guide to get a refresher. And so for today, we talked about all the Basecamp Manager duties and how to view paths, the path descriptions that other members might be working in. And if there's any questions, you can certainly feel free to pass those along to us. We can go ahead and get those answered. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks. Take care. Perfect. And that concludes the Basecamp Manager tutorials. And for that website, to look at the other projects where it's integrated, I have that link right here. I'm just going to go ahead and copy this into the chat. And if you completed a project, for example, if you accidentally completed the before and after speech assessment for the icebreaker project and it was completed, if you wanted to undo that, was that your question, Alicia, basically? That's what I'm assuming was that question. And for what I would know, there is no way to reverse that completion, because once you submit the before and after your speech assessment for any project, that's automatically going to mark the project as complete. And as far as I can see, there's no way to undo that completion, but it's not too much of a major issue. The main thing is if you haven't completed this speech, all you have to do is to just complete all the materials or to complete your speech, and then you'll match up, or you have officially completed that project. That's one thing to be mindful of. Once you complete the before and after speech assessment, then it's going to mark it as complete. So it's important to make sure that you don't complete the after the speech assessment until you have completed your speech. And are there any other questions about the Basecamp manager duties? Is everybody muted or? Okay. And I also understand that the TI website is down. If there were some members who wanted to get access to their project, for example, if they're on either doing the icebreaker project or completing the project 2 and on their path, you can refer to this website here, because there's another district that they integrated the project printout for the levels, at least for level 1. And so if you click on the project to printout, it'll pull up this the entire project for, well, it'll be the PDF version for project 2. And project 2 is the same throughout all the paths. So this will be this would be a very useful tool to use while the Toastmasters site is down if somebody wanted to access those materials before the TI site is back and working. And I'll put this link in the description as well, or the chat. And 1 second, I'm just reading some comments here. And Linda and Ann, do you have any other comments or anything that you would like to add?
I just want to remind everybody that if you have questions or concerns, please let your Pathways Guide know so we can get them answered for you.
And I did hear some other comments about when you're looking into identifying or to look to see which path each member is in. Sometimes you have to go through the process of click refresh and then wait for it to refresh, then view details. And in some cases, depending on the internet connection speed, that can be a bit of a process. So, and for that, I can send some feedback over to TI about see if there's a possibility to reduce the number of clicks that you would need to access such information when you're looking onto those resources on the Basecamp Manager and viewing all of each member's progress on their path, etc. So, and in the tutorial, you saw the external training request form, and that's also a form that's not required. It's basically a tool that TI created as a way to create a paper trail if you're going to complete a speech in another club, or maybe outside of a Toastmasters setting, such as at your workplace or something like that, where you wanted to complete a project of your path or in your path and get credit and get evaluated by somebody. Then you can submit that external training request form, and it'll be essentially just a paper trail that'll show where you completed that speech and when you did it. So that's what the external training request. It's not something that you have to do, because you can complete speeches outside the club without submitting that form. Kind of like what we do today with the traditional program. And are there any other questions or comments before we go ahead and close? Okay. And for the video that you saw as well, and I can send a link to this video. This is a link to all of the virtual sessions that I recorded. It is on here. It's on a playlist. And I can just send a link to this one video, because it will, at the end of the video, you'll see that there's It should be a, let's see, maybe I didn't put on this one, but on the other one, let's see.
But Toastmasters International does not.
Maybe this one, let's see. There it goes. Yeah, Linda, for any closing comments. So I'll go ahead and just send a link to this video, actually. This will have the links to some videos that I did on kind of based off of the Pathways checklist. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You know, the Pathways checklist where it covered the basics for taking your assessment and logging in and choosing your first path, and just some basics on getting involved in Pathways. And I just took those steps 1 through 12 and I created these 2 videos. So the first one is steps 1 through 5. The second one is steps 6 through 12. And that might be helpful for some club members, possibly getting familiar with Toastmasters, maybe, or a pathway specifically. And if you're not too familiar with technology, maybe they don't go online that much, these videos might be helpful as far as getting them a visual of how it works. I also created the video series on uploading your speech evaluation forms online, which that's also an optional thing that you can do. You don't have to upload your speeches online. And you'll find those videos in those playlists. And all in all, it's been a great session. I really appreciate all the questions and comments. And the next session will be on Monday, April 30th at 7 p.m. The same link. And on that session, for the whole week, for next week, beginning on Monday through Sunday, we'll be talking about uploading your speech evaluation forms. And I hope you have a great rest of your week, everybody. Take care. Thanks.